Yes, we are going live also on Facebook. So you can also join via Facebook, and then you can put your comments or ask your questions over there. Whilst in Zoom, you can join us live. Then you can ask a question that you would like to ask. I think we have been carrying out series of training online. This is just a free training, which also prepare your mind towards the main courses that we are about to run. And therefore, today, we just want to find time to discuss something small about what we call goodwill. And then some also say good name. Others will also say good image. Whatever you call it, we will look it from the general point of view, and then we will go to the technical aspect, which is the accounting aspect. Then we'll find out how goodwill comes about, and then how they are treated in accounting. Then we will also look at the product life cycle, and then see whether there is any link between product life cycle and then goodwill. So that's what we shall be looking at today. So without much ado, I would like to share my screen, which we are going to use as a basis of our training today. So I will share my screen, and then, okay, good. So I believe you can all see what is here. Yes, so we are coming to you from Silverman Financial Literacy Institute. This institute has already been registered in one of the countries I used to work. And we have been carrying out a number of training for most of our students. But of course, we handle majority of our training free, whilst we use it also as a platform to sell our books that we have published. Okay, so I'll talk about the company or what we do so that you know. Though we have introduced it several times, I think we always have new people coming on board, and therefore it is necessary that we repeat ourselves. So our vision is to enhance financial literacy and human capacity development with contemporary mixed learning mode. And then our mission is to reach every enthusiastic learner with financial, personal, and business education, customize the needs of individuals and institutions in an efficient manner. What is our core value? That is trust, innovation, leadership, and continuous learning. And what is our history? So Silverman Financial Literacy Institute was born out of passion for dissemination of useful business knowledge over the past 10 years. This led to the publication of various educational materials, books, and journals in the areas of personal finance, business finance, microfinance, and spiritual development. Out of this, we have Secret Silverman Company Limited, which is a licensed publisher. And then this publishing company actually publishes all our books. So out of this, we decided to register the training institutes which will support continuous learning so that people can gain more knowledge. And therefore, we focus on microfinance, finance, accounting, and personal development, and either in online or offline mode. This is what we have been doing. Okay. Yeah, for some of you who don't know me, this is a background of myself. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I'm a fellow of ACCA. And then I have also 2 master's degrees, one an MBA and one MSc. And then in April last year, I was awarded as a CFO of the year as a Chief Financial Officer of the Year for the non-banking financial institutions category. And for the past 18 years, I've been in management consultancy, microfinance, financial management, accounting system setup in various countries, including Ghana, Sierra Leone, Ethiopia, Egypt, Zambia, Malawi, Myanmar, and the USA. By the grace of God, I'm also gifted to write. So I love writing, and therefore I have authored some books, which I'll be showing to you. I've been involved in due diligence processes and funding management for many institutions. Okay, so what are the books that we have? So we have the 18 Laws of Personal Development, which is a beginner's book about gaining understanding of how to set up a business, how to grow it, how to make it work, and also how you can develop yourself properly. Then we have the second book, which is called The Permanent Wealth, 30 Steps to Creating a Lasting Wealth and Legacy. This will show you how you can establish something, nurture it, then it will stay long for others to also benefit from, or how you can establish permanent wealth. Then we have the Microfinance Institute. We also have Microfinance textbook. Yeah, you are welcome, Madam Ajua Nyadang. I think you have joined us at the appropriate time. Can you hear me? Okay. Anyway, so we will keep on talking. Yeah, and then we have the Microfinance textbook, which is available in the market. It is on sale. Also, all the books are on sale on Amazon. We also have different editions. For example, we have Indian edition, and then we have the Amazon edition, and then a Ghanaian edition. So we publish in 3 countries. We publish in Ghana, we publish in India, and then also in Myanmar, and then in the USA. So 4 places for some of the books, and others 3. And then the last book we have at the moment is the Embattled Earth. We all know about the challenges that the Earth is going through at the moment. It will show you some of the spiritual things that are happening, and then it is very helpful for our understanding. So these are the books that we have published, and then it will be advisable to get one of them, and then you will gain a lot from them. Now, today we are focusing on goodwill, and then we set up a preamble. Can a good name or a good image be translated into goodwill? That is a great question. And then we also are looking at it differently. Why is it that Aponchinkakra University, set up 5 years ago, with a great curriculum and faculty members, wouldn't be as prestigious as another university, say Oxford University? So today I want us to explore this topic so that we will be able to guide ourselves into how we can manage this topic very well. And then we should be able to achieve greatness for ourselves. So we are going to go into the topic and then look at what is goodwill, first of all. But the preamble here should also give us some hints. For example, if a school has been established now, let's say for the past 4 or 5 years, okay? Why is it that it will not be so big in the international level as the one that is just the one which has been there for about, say, 100 years or 200 years? You see, that is how goodwill is actually built. When you are doing something for a long time, you are building on it for a very long time, and then which we are going to look at when we are looking at the products cycle, you see that you are able to build goodwill along the line. That is, you build good image for yourself, or you build what we call the brand for yourself. And then this brand is what you can capitalize on in order to charge maybe extra fees, extra amount, or whatever. So if you check products that has been there for a very long time, let's take vehicle, Mercedes-Benz. You see, Benz is one of the first cars to be manufactured in the world, alongside those like Ford and the rest. They have a long history, and therefore they have established a good name for themselves. If you compare it to maybe a Lifan, which is a Chinese-made car, which came into the market about some 5-10 years ago, it doesn't have that sort of brand image as Benz or Ford, for example, or even Toyota. So you could see that a name that has been established, an image that has been established, is the one which grows into what we call goodwill. This is what we are trying to talk about. So there is no name like Aponchi in Krakra University. But the word over there is just to talk about a name that is coined out of a soup, goat meat soup, Aponchi in Krakra. Just to give an example. For example, so if you establish something for a very long time, that is, it has gained name, it has gained popularity for a very long time, then you establish what is called goodwill. That is what comes about in what we call goodwill. So now we are going to go into the definitions and then look at what goodwill is. And then we shall be able to know the differences and then how we can guide ourselves and then how it will help us a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead. We are now going to look at the definition of terms that we are going to look at, and then we'll look at goodwill in accounting. Okay, a few accounting. We will not go too deep into accounting, but we will see how it is done. Then we are going to look at the product life cycle, okay, or we can say PLC. And then we'll look at the link between the goodwill and the PLC, because I mentioned it at the introduction stage that there is a link between them. And we will see how we are going to look at it. So let's look at what goodwill is from the accounting point of view, okay? Though I've given you the general definitions from the beginning about looking at the university issue, okay? But goodwill is the excess of value of business over its separable net tangible asset at fair market prices. Okay, it sounds very holistic, but we will break it down into simpler, smaller stages. Mostly recognized in the books of accounts when an entity takes over another. An entity, so an entity here means a company or an organization, okay, takes over another. Wise, the difference in the purchase price of this company gives us what we call this one. Hold on. Okay, let's proceed. Okay. Yes. So we are looking at the goodwill definition. Yes. Okay. So we are looking at the net tangible assets at fair market prices. And then we say that mostly recognized in the books of accounts when an entity takes over another. So in this way, the difference in the purchasing price of the acquired company over its separable fair market net asset represents what is called goodwill. So we are talking about goodwill When the company and a new company, let's say an existing company, purchase another company. When the company is purchased, this is what we call purchase goodwill, but we are going to look at that definition later on. And then you see that the net separable assets is less than the value that was paid by the new owners. So what is higher? The value that has been paid for is higher. And then that difference is what we call goodwill. It means that the value of the business is actually more than the price of the net separable assets that are available. So that is how accountants look at goodwill. So for example, let's say MTN as a telecommunication giant in Ghana decided to buy another telecom company. And when this happens, you will see that they are able to pay a certain price for that business. Let's say Tigo. If MTN purchases Tigo, Tigo will be at a certain price. But if you check the books of accounts, you'll see that the accounts that have the details of the assets, that is the total asset minus we have other liabilities over there, is far less than the value that has been paid. This is what we call the goodwill. So we will look at the breakdown one by one. Net separable asset number 2 over there. The total asset of a company minus all liabilities. It is called the net separate asset because each unit of the asset needs to be separated, not just adding up the value. For example, 100 furniture, 300 vehicles, 50 computers, etc., with the values, minus the liabilities owed to maybe Bank A, Bank B, creditor C, whatever. You see, when you take out all the liabilities from the total assets, then you have the net separable assets. But let's go down to what we call the fair values. The fair value is a value. The fair value is a reference to the asset's price as determined by a willing seller and buyer. So for example, if together I want to buy your vehicle that you are already using, maybe you purchase the vehicle at 40,000 Ghana cedis. But at the time that the two of us agree, I decided to pay 50,000 for the asset. Okay, you bought it and the value was at 40,000, but I have decided to pay 50,000 to it because I am the new owner. The difference between the old price and then the new that you got is the 10,000 over there. That 10,000 to the new person and also to the owner, who the original owner, becomes what we call the goodwill. Because you see the value there is higher than what we was actually purchased at. But this price is the fair value. So the fair value is often established in the marketplace. Fair value is a broad measure of assets worth. You see, the worth of the asset is not necessarily the market value. For example, if I go to a garage to buy the same car, maybe I will have gotten it about 80,000 or maybe 90,000, okay? But the two of us agree that I should purchase it at 50,000. So this is the fair price I am paying to you. And that is why it is called the fair value. That is how the accountant looks at it. Then we shall look at the product life cycle, because we'll be coming back to our definition in the next presentation. The product life cycle is the amount of time a product goes from being introduced into the market until is taken off the shelves or the market. There are 4 basic stages of product lifecycle. So it takes a product to be introduced to the market until it has declined and it is no longer existing in the market. It may say take some years. For example, I mentioned Mercedes-Benz already. What about the Chinese vehicle called Lifan? And maybe it came to Ghana, but maybe it's no longer in the market. So from the introduction stage up to where it was taken off, okay, that period is described as product life cycle. Are we getting it? Okay, so let's proceed. And then we are going to look at the details, okay? We are going to look at the details of goodwill. So accounting recognizes 2 types of goodwill. We have the purchased goodwill and then inherent goodwill. So we'll take it one by one. What is a purchased goodwill? A purchased goodwill is recognized when one entity takes over another with an agreed price, as we defined in the previous slide. The difference in the purchase price and the fair market value of the net separable asset becomes the purchased goodwill. Okay. This goodwill is treated as intangible asset in the balance sheet, and it is amortized over a period of time. This is more of an accounting. When we say we amortize, it is spread over a certain period. It's like depreciation, but depreciation is normally to fixed tangible assets, but we use amortization for intangible assets. An asset that you cannot see with your physical eyes is called intangible. So for example, goodwill cannot be seen in the company, but it exists. That is why it is called intangible. Okay, then let's look at inherent goodwill. Inherent goodwill. It is the opposite of purchased goodwill and represents the value of a business more than the fair value of its separable net asset. This type of goodwill is internally generated and arises over time due to reputation, and it can either be positive or negative. This we shall go into it later. Inherent goodwill is, of course, the best to have. After all, it costs you nothing and you can gain a lot from it. It takes a lot of time to build inherent goodwill. So this brings us to what I was explaining at the introduction. You see, it takes time to build inherent goodwill. That is before the product will be introduced through the development and all that. It takes some time before you can build what is called goodwill. That is when you start, before customers will begin to know you, others will begin to know you, people will be trusting you to buy from you and things like that. Maybe some 5 years, 10 years, 50 years can pass. I know the time Toyota started producing, people didn't trust Toyota because people trust European cars. But gradually, Toyota has been a trusted vehicle because they have gained what we call goodwill, which is an inherent one. The same thing applies to vehicles coming from Korea. I know some years back in Ghana, people don't trust Korea cars like Hyundai and those sort of vehicles. People don't trust them. But eventually they have been able to gain some reputation after a period of time, okay? So these are some of the things that we are looking at. So let's go to number 5. For example, an outstanding product or providing an excellent service consistently. You are going to build this inherent goodwill a lot quicker. Additionally, factors such as favorable location, how long you have been established, and hard work ethics, which build good relationship with your customers, clients, also play a huge role in building inherent goodwill. You see, over here, we see that before you can build a goodwill, you must be providing excellent service or excellent product consistently. That is, you don't do it today, tomorrow you stop. You do it next day, you stop. But you must be consistent in providing those services to other your clients. Then by that, you are building the goodwill. And sometimes also your location advantage counts. In my books, 18 Laws of Personal Development, I mention a scenario over there. Let's say that we know that we have been in Ghana. All our gold or major parts of our goals are found in Obuasi. So Obuasi is noted for gold production. It's reputed, and therefore Obuasi is synonymous to gold. And therefore, anytime you talk about gold, you think about Obuasi or maybe Takwa or whatever. Okay. Let's take it that the mine have been closed in Obuasi. And then all of a sudden, Keta Basin, which is noted for flooding due to the sea levels and all that, they've discovered gold over there. It will take some time before Keta Basin will be recognized as a gold producing city. Are we getting it? It will take some time. It will not just happen all of a sudden, because the goodwill has already been established in Obuasi for a long time, over 100 years of gold production. But if you bring it and then you build another mine in Keta, it will take some time before it will be recognized or be reputed as a gold producing town or city. So you can check this in one of my books, especially 18 Laws of Personal Development, and also the permanent wealth. I mentioned it over there. So these are the things that we are looking at. And so vis-a-vis, I'm guiding you on how you can build goodwill. So we are not restricting this training to just accounting students, but how you can build your reputation even as a marketing person, or you are selling a product, and how you can build the reputation for that product. All this goes a long way to help you to be able to develop your business and make it work. That is the essence of what we have been sharing from time to time, so that our people will learn how to keep their business growing, improving it, so that the market value can become big in case they want to sell it, or they even want to the external investors to come in and all that. Okay. So, for example, we are looking at the financial statement, how goodwill is captured in the financial statement. So this is the asset side of the business, the balance sheet, and then you will see the highlighted figure in orange. That is goodwill. So goodwill is part of the asset, but it's normally captured within the property and equipment. Normally it's above. You will put it on intangible assets will come before the tangible assets will come. Okay. Others also have different way of presenting it, but the fact is that it is an asset, though it is not something that you can see in the company. This happened because the company was purchased. We are looking at Amazon.com.incorporated. This is just a training material, so it doesn't mean that it is existing. Okay, so it's a model example. So at the asset side is where we have goodwill, not at the liability side. Okay, so that is where it is captured. Now let's go now, and then we are going to look at product life cycle. We have looked at the definition already. So the product life cycle passes through 4 stages mostly. Others could argue that innovation could prolong the stages of the cycle. The stages are introduction, a stage where a product is first introduced to the market. It may take the development, research, and product stage to the first launch of the product. So over here, what we are trying to say is that the introduction stage is where you do market research and you do research and development, and then developing the product itself, and then bringing it, manufacturing it for the first time, or maybe providing the service for the first time to the people or your clients. That is the introduction stage. Then the growth stage is where the product is gaining acceptance within the market, and the market share is being realized with the introduction of the product. This is characterized by growing demand, an increase in production, and expansion in its availability. Okay, these are the stages. Then we have the maturity stage. The product has reached a certain stage in the market where a further development is expected. So this is most the profitable stage, while the cost of producing and marketing decline. You see, at this stage, you are not spending too much to produce the product, but you are gaining in terms of profit because there are a lot of clients coming in to buy the product. Then the product will also decline. Okay, a product takes an increased competition as other companies emulate its success, sometimes with enhancement or lower prices. The product may lose market share and begin its decline. So if you look at the charts, or let's say the table below, we have the introduction stage, and then we have the growth stage, we have the maturity stage. Now at the maturity stage, you see a blue line extending above, and it's called product extension. So this is where innovation comes in, as I stated at point number 1 over there. So you can do more innovation, then you can enhance or prolong the stages of the life cycle. But at some point, the product may decline, okay? And then people might not be buying it again because people may be shifting to other products and because of increased competition. Now, the longer the product life cycle is, then the better the product is. Or let's say that as long as you keep the product for a long time, then you also build what is called goodwill. This is where we are coming to talk about the relationship. So the goodwill actually is established when there is a long product life cycle. The reason is that you continue to innovate, to improve. That is at the point where we have product extension. You are extending and extending and extending. Okay, let's go back to another example. If you see the Benz, Mercedes-Benz, that were manufactured maybe in 1970s, or let's say 1960s, and then you compare it to the one manufactured maybe last year or whatever, you see that there is a big difference. Even the way the tires are designed, the mudguard, the lighting system, even the steering and all that, everything has changed. The seat, and then the comfort that has been added. Those days, even there was no air conditioning in the car and all those sort of things, you know. So what I'm saying is that they have added innovation, or what you can call product extension, to it. So this has actually increased the value, and then the product life cycle begin to extend and extend and extend and extend. And then as a result of this, the company also built goodwill for itself. So let's go there. So this is what I want us to look at. And then this is the last slide. And then we shall be taking questions if we have some questions. So the link between the two, goodwill is built over time. especially inherent goodwill. Even it is the inherent goodwill that is translated into the purchase goodwill at the transfer of ownership of the business. Okay, so before the ownership is even transferred, it is the inherent goodwill that is built over time. Number two, for a company or an entity to build a good image or goodwill, it must be doing the business consistently right. The product or services must be developed, grown, or mature to a certain stage where it is acceptable by the majority. That is the point. So if your product is not being accepted at the beginning of the business, don't worry. Just take time to be developing it, improving it, improving it, improving it. As you continue to improve it, then you are building what we call goodwill. That is why I want to come to. Now, another stage is that this also means that it has a long history of durable product or excellent service. Invariably, it has already passed through the introduction, growth, and maturity stages in the product life cycle. Number five, and then it has established a brand that is well known. So I gave the example of vehicles. Consider Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, Microsoft, Samsung, Guinness, etc. These brands have been long established in the market and therefore they have strong goodwill, both inherent and purchased in case of any takeover. So my advice to business people or people who are trying to introduce something to the market is that when you start, don't be discouraged by a rejection or people don't like it or people don't. It is because you don't have any goodwill. You don't have any good name at the moment. That is why people are rejecting you. But you must continue to bring the product to the market. Continue to bring it to the market. Continue to improve it. Continue to until people begin to accept it, accept it, accept it. Then you are growing your goodwill. But if you are discouraged from the initial stage, at the introduction stage, let's go back to that side. You see at the table down there, if you are discouraged at the introduction stage and then you stop along the line, then you are not going to make the profit. You see the graph is climbing up. That means your sales is increasing as you pass the introduction stage to the growth stage. And maturity stage, it has even gone higher. But if you got discouraged because people are not buying for you, then you are going to lose. But you must continue to improve, continue to improve, continue to improve until you make it happen. And that is how goodwill is built. And especially my people, I normally teach a lot of finance, accounting to different countries. But when it comes to my people, Africans, we easily get discouraged. That is what I have noticed so far. We easily get discouraged, or I always say that we don't have stamina for doing good consistently. So our stamina always fails along the line. So within a short time, we get discouraged, we stop along the line. But I will urge all of you to continue consistently developing whatever you are doing, whatever business that you are doing, or whatever sales, whatever product, whatever it is, whether it's your education or whatever, continue to improve, 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 and improve. That is the only way that you can build a good image, a good brand, and then a good sales in the future. That is what I want to bring to you for my people, especially. And I believe that we all can learn from this small accounting thing to guide our personal life. And this we will be able to make it. So what services do we provide? We provide training in terms of mixed mode, online and offline training. So facilitation of financial seminars and workshops for groups, associations, and institutions. And then we also do strategic planning, budgeting, funding, proposal, and business plans. Then we also source for funds for individuals and institutions. Then we also do a counseling on marriages, stress, and depression management. And you can send me an email as silverman2016@gmail.com. And this is my WhatsApp number or Viber. You can also send me if you have any further questions. You can visit our website. There are a lot of things that you can get to read for free over there, secretsilverman.com. And then you can also click on the link to go to our Amazon page. Or once you go to Amazon, just type Secret Silverman, and then it will take you to all our books that we have over there. So this is the end of our presentation. And then thank you very much for listening and or watching us. And then I would like to see if there is any question for me, or also questions coming from Facebook or whatever. So I'll go to my Facebook on my, and then see whether there are questions. And then also, do we have any? Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you also, Sister Ajua Nyadaun. I think we'll be speaking later about this. I know this topic is not very interesting for you, but we have small business seminar programs, which I believe you can join next time, because we have our SME training coming up soon. And then I believe you can participate and then gain a lot, especially on how you can manage small businesses in it. Yes, I have a few comments coming from the Facebook. So God bless you, sir, for educating us. Thank you very much. And I'm learning something new, so God bless you. Thank you. And yeah, so these are the few comments that I have seen coming in. So keep your comments coming, and if there is anything new that you want us to also know, and you can send us a message also, either the email or Facebook comments or messenger. Then we'll pick it up and then have it delivered to you. We mostly don't charge for our seminars like this, but there are other seminars that we charge, which is like the one we do like for 2 weeks or 1 month, especially when we are having a training for finance for non-finance managers. If you want to know a bit more about accounting and finance, I will recommend the finance for non-finance managers course for you. Then we also have the SME seminars that we hold from time to time. And then you'll be able to gain a lot of insights about the SME setup, which product that you can deal in to be successful, how you can manage it, where you can get funding from, how you can do accounting services to keep your records straight and things like that. We have some of those training programs, and we charge a little for some of those trainings. So you can contact us and then let us know so that we can help you in the training. Once more, thank you. Yes, thank you. I also got some comments from the thing. Thank you very much, Madam Eme, for joining us live for the first time today. I hope next one will be more interesting and you all enjoy it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.